Welcome everyone. My name is Jeff St Laurent and this is the Tuesday Live Show, and we come at you each and every week. And today's topic is it's process before people. And what I mean by that is the people part is the clients. And I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit more as we get into this. And it's helping you understand the process that we need because a lot of clients come into this game thinking, oh my God, I just want to get clients. And yeah, we just want to get clients. But if we don't have a process in place, that represents a problem. I'm going to elaborate on this in just a second. Before we get going, I do record all of my Tuesday shows and I put them on my website, sellingcoaching.com, under the university. So please check that out. I help coaches transition to a full-time business, help you start from ground zero or wherever you're starting along that path, making sure that your structure is all set up, your systems are set up, not only systems in terms of marketing to getting new audience and growing your audience, to nurturing your existing audience, but then also how to monetize that in terms of selling your coaching. That's the name of my business, Selling Coaching, and I help with the selling skill set primarily in that qualification process. We'll talk about that a little bit today as well. To help you with some of that, with the great resources, not only in my university, but right on the homepage of my website, sellingcoaching.com, you can enter your name and email address for a great resource. And that's launching your full-time coaching business, the first 3 vital steps. So you enter your name and email, you'll get instant access to that. That's going to be an audio course that you can actually listen and watch as you can learn the first 3 vital steps, no matter where you are in the process. It's important to understand those. And then finally, before we get going, if you're in a position and you are a coach and you want to transition to full-time, and you want to do this, but you know you need some help, you're frustrated or you don't want to get frustrated, you want to work the most efficiently, you want to take all the guesswork out of it, take away all the shiny objects and get some focus, I'm available for one-on-one mentoring. And if that's something you're interested in learning more about or you're serious about that, fill out the form at the bottom of the Work With Me page at sellingcoaching.com and I will follow up with you. We can create a relaxed conversation and go from there. With that being said, let's talk about this. So process before people. And I don't know if you've ever seen the show The Prophet on CSNBC, and Marcos Lemonis, I think he pronounced his last name, but he's the prophet, and he is a billionaire who has many, many businesses, and he gets to go around and people apply for his show, but he's essentially an investor, similar to Shark Tank, except for he's going into the businesses and it's showing the process of meeting the people who own the business, understanding their situation, and then deciding whether he wants to invest in the business or not. And when he invests in the business and it helps it and revitalizes the business, he focuses on 3 main things: people, process, and product. And so when I talk about this today, I'm going to talk about not so much your product, and our product right now, let's just say everyone's product initially is our one-on-one coaching. We might have other products down the road, like I've got a book, I've got CD courses, I've got other things that I've done there, courses. But the number one product that we refer to when most coaches start their business is going to be their one-on-one coaching. So we're not going to focus on the product itself and improving that. That's the coaching skill set. We're going to focus on the process and the people. And now the people, I'm not going to, he refers to them as people in the organization, the employees. But I'm going to say to this here is this is the clients that we go after, right? And so most coaches, when they come out of a coaching school, when they decide they want to become a coach, right? The number one thing is, as always, is I want to get coaching clients, right? I love this coaching skill set. I've been coached before, right? We fall in love with it and the results that we created from it, how we feel through this process. And we're like, oh, I want to do this, right? And I feel like I've been coaching forever anyways, right? People say things like this, and I want to do this. And so I want to get clients. And that's where people come out of the gates is clients, clients, clients. That's all I want is clients. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't mean you're not going to be successful in getting clients. However, it's backwards. In other words, I did the same thing. I came out and I wanted clients and I was getting clients. And here's the problem with getting clients initially and focusing on that without a process in order to get them, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today is what is this process? You know, if we don't have a process that we're taking people through and all the other small processes involved with that in our business, what happens is if we're just going for clients, like I said, it can happen and it will happen. You'll get clients from it. But what I found the problem with that is that I was getting clients, but I would get it when I got a client, it was like this it was this euphoric, magical place. And I'm like, oh, I got a client. But then I would look back on it and I would be like, I really have no idea how that happened. I mean, I could be able to tell you like, well, I spoke at this event and then this person came up to me afterwards. We had a conversation and I offered them a complimentary session and then they hired me, right? So I guess that was the process, but it was, in other words, it wasn't duplicatable, right? I didn't really know, I didn't take them through any process. It was just like, next thing you know, I'd get a client. And it was like, okay, well, I want another client. How do I do that? And I was like, I don't really know, and so I kept doing some of the same things. I would get out there and speak, but there's no process to that. It's not duplicatable. And so the problem with that long term is, because I want to set you up when I help coaches transition to full-time business, I'm thinking about this not short term, like how can I help you get a couple clients now and make, $5,000 this month or 10 grand this month? Like that's not my thought processes. My thought processes is like, how can I set you up so that you can have processes in terms of marketing systems to gain new people, back-end marketing systems and processes of how do you stay in front of your audience, existing audience, or then your audience as it grows. How do you market that audience on a consistent basis so that you build trust and rapport over time so you can convert those people to clients? And then how do you then take those leads, whether they're new leads or existing people in your audience, and how do you take them through a qualifying process and to hire you, and then an onboarding process once they've hired you, right? Those are the processes that we want to understand. Now, this is what I help my one-on-one mentoring clients with, as I help those marketing systems and those processes, but more importantly, that qualifying process and then the onboarding process. I just have one of my clients that I've been working with for almost 3 years now, and that's what he's been doing in revenue, right? And he's like, thank God for these marketing systems and these processes that he's helped me with, because now I'm able to understand what I'm doing, and we're able to go back and we're able to understand our results. That's the biggest benefit of what we're talking about is understanding when you get a client, it's going from, if you start off with just clients without the process, doesn't mean you won't get them. You won't get them as frequently or as easily. But then the worst part, you're not going to really understand how you got them or why you got them. When you have a process, you understand how you got them and you understand why you got them. So not only can you duplicate that process over and over again, but the even better part is you can actually improve upon that process as you go along the way. Like my last mentor coaching client that I got the phone with before this live show is we've been improving upon his process of onboarding clients. And in each time we have those opportunities where we're creating those conversations, like I call them those sales conversations, when we're creating approaches, when we're qualifying someone, when we're inviting them to a comp session and then having the comp session and then closing them and all the objections or things along the way, we can break down pieces of that process and understand them better. What are we saying? What are we getting for responses? And it's a slow process, but it's a valuable process. This can take place over, let's say, a year or 2 years, right? And we improve upon it. But I'm telling you, once you improve upon it, you're improving your skill sets. It's you. It's not like it's an electronic system on your computer that you're improving upon. No, it's you. That's the biggest thing about it is it's understanding how to ask great questions. It's understanding not from a coach's perspective, but in terms of qualifying. It's not knowing when someone qualifies or not to invite them to a complimentary session. It's understanding the things we need to understand along the way, not only prior to the complimentary session, but during the complimentary session. So number one, to make sure at the end we don't get objections. We're preventing them prior to that. But then if we do get objections, how to handle those in order to move forward from there, right? This is starting to lay out some of that process. Now, I wish I could lay this out for you all individually. I can't do that until we work individually together. That's the things, like I said, like I do with my mentor coaching clients. But I'm starting to show you some of the things that you need to understand, right? So whether you hire and work with someone like myself to help you with this specifically, or you start to figure this out on your own, just know that you want to start to understand essentially where am I finding my people? So from a marketing perspective, it's like, where am I finding my people? How am I getting myself in front of people? And you want to understand the back-end system of how do I do that and duplicate that on a daily basis. So I know when it's my marketing time, what am I doing in my office? What am I doing in my office on a minute-by-minute basis when I'm doing my marketing time, right? What am I following? Who am I calling? How do I know how to track that, right? So I can go back to you, like if I were to talk to you at the end of my week, and this is what I aim to do with my clients once we get into that marketing place, is I aim to get to the point with them to say is, okay, no matter what results they're getting or not, I should be able to go to them and say, well, how many new people did you come in contact with this week or each day? They should be able to tell me that, right? And then of those, how many did you have a further detailed, more qualifying conversation, whether it was on the phone, virtually, email, some messaging type system, right? How many of those people did you have a qualifying call with? And then of those people, how many people qualified for, let's say, a complimentary session that you approached and invited to a complimentary session? How many of those people accepted, and actually now how many people actually showed up at the complimentary session? How many people hired you? And then ultimately, of the clients that have hired you, how many people will actually renew, right? So that's a system there, right, where we start to break some of those pieces down. And then it's starting to understand from even that point is, okay, what's my qualifying process? So it's diving deeper into each of those components in terms of how am I having those conversations. And that's a general overview of what I talk about in terms of a process, right? We've got to understand that process in terms of the delicate intricacies of that. And when you start to understand that for yourself, and that's what I want you to break down. And like I said, if you need help with that, like I said, consider working with me. Go to my sellingcoaching.com, fill out the form at the bottom of the Work With Me page, and let's talk about this stuff. This is vital because once you understand this and you get better at this, what's going to happen on the back end is, number one, you probably won't be giving out as many complimentary sessions. And again, this is assuming you're just doling them out to anybody, right? That was one of my previous shows is, my last show last week was, when is the time to give out a free session? We don't just give them out all the time, right? So we want to understand that. But we probably won't be giving out as many complimentary sessions, which is a good thing because people are now, you're giving them only to people that are qualified. But then secondly, the people that are there, they're not only going to be more qualified, but you're going to understand more about that process. You're going to have set up better expectations with those people. And then on the back end, what happens is you're going to have a much higher percentage of the people that do come to those calls actually hire you. And the best part about it is now you're only creating a better relationship, but more of those people are going to renew with you long term, meaning that should be a big piece of your revenue is clients that renew with you after your initial package, let's say of 9 sessions or so, right? So that should be a big piece of your business because you want to have longer term clients, not only because you can help them better, but also from a revenue standpoint is that it just allows more consistent income. And therefore, you're not always just like, oh my God, always finding new clients. Yes, you're trying to always find new clients with your process, but if you can keep those clients over a longer period of time, you get better results with them. And it results in a more consistent business revenue-wise as well. So now we get to that spot is now we're on that back end. And as I said in the beginning, it's not this like, when you get a new client, it's not like this like magical, mysterious, oh my God, how did I get here place? Like how cool, I wish I could do this more. And now, okay, where's my next one? Oh my God, I have no clue. Like now that even myself, I remember back to those times where it was just like, oh my God, and oh my God, I got a client. Like it was not like a surprise necessarily, but it was. And it was like, whew, almost how did that happen? Whereas now when I get a client, like, of course I'm excited about it, but it's just like, it was expected because I ran them through my process and I understand how and why it's working. And so while it's exciting instead of this type of exciting, like, oh my God, it's just kind of like, okay, it's more of that flatline effect. It's just the consistency. It's like, great, a new client. And I expected it because as I was talking with this person through my process, I was running them through my process, I was understanding that. And I was in that place where I was like, okay, yeah, this person's qualifying well. They seem like they're in a good position. And I had a command over it. I had that control, if you will, not over that person, but over the process it was going down. Whereas before, I would say without that process, it was out of control. And that's why some of the biggest benefits to having the process before people, or in this case, like I said, clients. Hopefully this has been helpful for you and starting to understand this. Like I said, if this is something that you need help with, especially when you get to this position where, if you're getting more leads or you're getting yourself in front of people more, like this is an important piece. Like maybe you figured that marketing thing out where you're getting people, but you're not sure how the process to take those people through and you're not getting clients, or you're just having a lot of complimentary sessions, you're not getting results from that. This is something, definitely consider working with me as your mentor coach. Like I said, if that's a consideration of yours, just hit up sellingcoaching.com, fill out the form at the bottom of the Work With Me page, and I'll follow up from there.